Hello, welcome back to Bookshelf Tour. Still with the Robert Crumb. Robert Crumb in the 70s. Him going nyuk nyuk nyuk. Oh, this gets me so excited, to a woman who's got a Our Bodies, Our Shelves t-shirt. Our Bodies, Ourselves being the reference. Feminism with the clubhouse in the background of No Boys Allowed. That creep, misogynist, reactionary male pig, will have to teach him a lesson. And it's R. Crumb versus the Sisterhood, with his usual brand of juvenile, squirty nonsense. This is the stuff that's going to, if anything's going to extinguish Robert Crumb from history, probably this will be the stuff. It is, unfortunately, yeah, he's a part of, as he calls himself, he was the best. What's it? When you're in the position of having fame, even modest fame like mine, people want to involve you in all manner of foolish nonsense. That's truly amazing. The foolish nonsense has never ceased since the day I became America's best-loved hippie cartoonist in 1968. It's been an unending stream of nonsense. I've learned to live with it to some extent. Otherwise, you just have to retire, quit, do a fade-out. There have been many times in the past 20 years I've asked myself, is this bullshit worth it? And I think on the back, you take a person like this and, fame, and you make them famous, chances are pretty certain you will see rapid burnout, drug addiction, often even early death. Well, that's about where I was in the early 70s, man. And so, yeah, neurotic, kind of fragile, kind of rage-filled creature like R. Crumb probably did not react great to his fame. Still, we get but it's kind of consistent. You get the anthropomorphic animals with a bunch of cats chopping off the head of a chicken woman, and the chicken woman's body running around, rampaging around all over the place. It's imagery that seems to kind of, women's bodies come up into this. Yeah, there's a little probably illustration of R. Crumb and his psychology, reflected through the artist himself. I get what I want by drawing picture of the desired object. Come to me, my sweetie. And yes, there's a picture of a big woman for Robert Crumb. He also has, other than sexism, there is just sort of his kind of inner life, drawing a desperation of an inner life of someone, of a man trapped in a little box, slowly going insane, naked inside that box. And on the other side, concerned about population explosion, commit suicide. So, there's a very kind of nihilistic, brutal side to him, which I guess is what he finds the juxtaposition of kind of cute animals, cute anthropomorphic animals is the way to kind of reflect through that. Or you get, yet another little id monster, just a small person, guy surrounded by huge-legged women, huge calves, which, no surprise, this is again reflecting R. Crumb's desires. And more kind of racist imagery as well. So it's very confronting. Here, I think I'm going to just repeat myself. I will just say that we go on to more of those featuring Frosty the Snowman and the violent overthrow, because we're definitely getting into kind of more revolutionary things, but also that thing of a male as an infant, surrounded by with very adult male desires, but surrounded by large overpowering women, which seems to be the thing. And then, yeah, the 1970s, And yeah, his fascination with blues, the blues, and kind of the black blues, which I guess is, you know, it's a very hipster white dude thing. He's probably the first one to decry that all the hipsters who actually took over that, even though I guess you could say he was the first of them. And we have Cave Wimp, which is, you know, in this big, you know, big strong caveman, but you know there must have been, you know, wimpy little guys who somehow survived through all this to um, populate the world nowadays with people like R. Crumb and stuff like that. Yeah, and I think this is the last of the complete comics that I actually have. I don't know if it's probably he stopped by the time this is where I stopped, because that's where I sort of stopped in my collection of comics, like being as much of a collector. I just sort of stopped there. We get stuff like, you know, Weirdo, how glorious it is to be a painful exception. So that is in some ways a self-mocking version of how R. Crumb sees himself in the world. Here he is sniffing a flower, being all sensitive. Meanwhile, there's you know, doltish joggers running in the background. Not that doltish joggers couldn't also be just sensitive souls. Not that I'm a jogger myself, but you know, that kind of thing. And then there's even more, talking about id monsters, just literally an id monster perched on top of completely, mostly submerged woman buttocks, and you know, you can see the heel in the background. It's all the fetishes, all the dark desires of Robert Crumb done on the page, which I can defend. I can't defend, but I can also just say, take a look at Pornhub. Take a look at anything nowadays. I mean, I guess that's the thing. That's where you find those dark desires reflected best nowadays. Is that it's gone further back underground. Or whether this isn't like this, these are literally underground comics. I'll do a little side section on some other R. Crumb stuff I have later, but we'll stop there for today. There, I got through the complete Crumb. I'm not going to go through issue by issue, holding up more terrible picture after terrible picture and struggling with it. I think if I want to talk about R. Crumb more, I'll try and do it like, hey, here's one story and let's actually talk about it, versus all this generality stuff, which is the worst thing of all these bookshelf tours. But I guess you know what you're getting into when you know it's a bookshelf tour. It's just touring the bookshelf. It's not really diving deep into specific books. All right, I'll leave it there. More videos later.